Ever since 9/11, police have been monitoring the Muslim community to gather intelligence and foil terror attacks. But one Muslim group is mad and calling for the Senate to have hearings to have surveillance stopped. So let me get this straight. The Muslim group CAIR is angry because law enforcement is trying to protect the country from terror attacks. Take a listen to New York Police Commissioner Raymond Kelly.
We're doing what we believe we have to do to protect the city. We have many lawyers in our employ. We see ourselves as very conscious and aware of civil liberties. And we know that there's always going to be scrutiny. There's always going to be some tension between the police department and the so-called civil liberties groups because of the nature of what we do.
How about investigating the Muslim group that wants the cops to stop doing their job? Joining me now is Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, president and founder of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. Hey, welcome back, Dr. J. Appreciate having you on again tonight. So what about it? CAIR has a problem with New York City, the police department investigating mosques and other Muslim groups. Do you have a problem with that?
Absolutely not. I mean, again, let's frame it right. I would have a problem if they targeted individuals without following leads, etc. But again, the groups like CAIR, Muslim Advocates, MPAC in New York, Muslim Public Affairs Council, have been a thorn in the side of the police work of the New York Police Department. They came out with the Sentinel report, the NYPD report on radicalization and our homegrown terrorism, and they were against it. They demanded that they add a page that there's no link between theology and radicalization, and yet that report has proven to be a textbook on radicalization process among Muslims. And here you have CAIR, a group that is really persona non grata to the Department of Justice. They won't even talk to them because they won't condemn Hamas and de-link themselves from Hamas. And now they're trying to say they want an investigation. They're really all about obstructionism and really not about solutions. There's no evidence from this AP report, Eric, that just came out of any wrongdoing. It's simply good police work, smart work into the neighborhoods of New York, good outreach, and basically getting information that can then be culled into the database for good, smart police work.
And Doctor, the New York City Police Department put together a substantial report. It was earlier last year, I think early part of last year, and they found that, what was it, 17% of male Muslim youths were at least somewhat associated or agreed with some radical Islamic ideology. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers in New York, and just look at the DOJ numbers, Eric. Of the last 220 arrests, over 80% have been Muslim, and we're only less than 2% of the population. And the NYPD, rather than we as Muslims thanking them for cleaning out the radicals from our ranks, rather than helping them and saying that Commissioner Kelly is an example, a model program that he brought and tried to consolidate intelligence work with the CIA and others, like was mandated after 9/11, they want to use this AP story to say things that don't exist, to continue to be the squeaky wheel and prevent good work that's been keeping New Yorkers safer, that has been exposing plots from not only Faisal Shahzad that was caught, but so many others that we don't even hear about. And rather than America seeing us as part of the solution, they're continuing to see them as part of the knee-jerk obstructionists.
Dr. J, only about 20 seconds or so. You're a Muslim, right, sir?
Absolutely.
And does CAIR represent your views?
Not at all. I think that, you know, they're part of the diversity. They're free to say what they want, but there are a majority, I think, of Muslims that are patriotic Americans, that are part of the solution, that serve our country well and believe in fixing the problem within our ranks. It's not about Islam. It's about fixing the radicalism that evolves from political Islam and not spiritual Islam.
All right, Dr. Jasser, thank you very much for joining us again on Follow the Money.
Thank you, Eric.
All right, we're going to bring it out to the panel. David, you're nodding, you're listening. The New York City Police Department just doing good police work, right?
They're doing good police work, which, by the way, they do this with any investigation. This is a method. They send, if there's a problem with Jamaican gangs, when they had that problem, they would go into the neighborhood, send people to draw for leads, to look for it, to observe. This is nothing new. They did it when Giuliani took on the mob. They sent out people to literally go where they are. How are you supposed to find out? Ibrahim Hooper and CAIR are a dishonest organization. And over their history, they have proven themselves only interested in hiding the problem.
The difference here is that, sorry,
please,
yes.
Where do you stand on it first?
I'm sure I disagree with the three of you. I would say that, look, we're all in favor. I'd be happy to explain, Eric. We're all in favor here of aggressive law enforcement to protect our country from attacks from all religious ethnic groups. And the Muslim American community has cooperated with law enforcement on that. What I don't agree with, and the doctor said he didn't agree with too, is single-hand targeting without leads, the Muslim American community,
They
which
haven't
deserves right now. I want to see
That's not what he said. He said individuals.
And that's what they're doing. They're listening to Imam's speech. They're going to cab drivers. They're going to food truck owners. That's what they're doing. So all I'm saying is have a hearing, because Muslim Americans deserve the right to be treated like all Americans, to have the constitutional rights protected, right?
Let me grab these emails, guys. We got these emails ready to go. Hold on, listen. I emailed Ibrahim Hooper from CAIR, the spokesman for all of CAIR, the CAIR International. I said, Mr. Hooper, would you care to comment on this story? And I referenced the story from the AP. And his email back was to me, show forgiveness, speak for justice, and avoid the ignorant. And he quoted the Holy Quran in that email. And I couldn't understand. So I emailed him back and I said, when you quote the Holy Quran, you say show forgiveness. Do you personally or CAIR then forgive the NYPD and or any other group who may have been involved? I'm trying to understand your response, Mr. Hooper. And he so eloquently wrote back, peace. The last part, meaning the avoiding the ignorant. The last part of the quote is in reference to you, Eric. The rest is just good advice. Susan, it's an angry group. It's not, this is supposed to be an organization that brings Americans together with Muslims and unite them in a common bond of better lives for everyone in America.
And they do anything but. As a matter of fact, they organize together to bring hatred towards other people. And that's really the sad part. And that's why this organization is nothing but not just disruptive, but dishonest and just, I want to say...
Disruptive is accurate. It's accurate. I mean, it's a soft way of saying it, but very accurate.
They're in the business. CAIR, and I don't know which story you read. CAIR, since I've been following them and tracking them in the 90s, they are in the business of obfuscation. And you and I have had this one-on-one with Ibrahim Hooper on this very show. He does not answer questions straightforward. He only goes out to obfuscate and attack, and they're hiding the problem. They get in the way of law enforcement. Remember the Holy Land Foundation? They get in the way in so many cases. And by the way, Scott, the police are not targeting individuals. I happen to meet with counterterrorism about every 2 months or so. I happen to work with a lot of the NYPD on this. They go out and they do this in any situation to look for information.
I apologize, Scott. We'll get to you in a minute. We have to leave it right there. Coming up, gas prices spike, refineries shut down, the economic disaster